Welcome to the crypt. Today we're going to be sinking our teeth into Necrosmith. This is a roguelike type of game. We're just actually going to jump straight into an old save here, and that way I can show you and explain a little bit more about it. So this is our character here. Essentially what we're going to be doing in this is we're going to be trying to survive hordes of monsters attacking our tower by creating our own monsters to go off and fight and recover resources. So we're going to be Frankensteining a few body parts and things together. So here we have our map. We have all these graves around the map. I'm actually going to pause the timer here for a second. So we're going to be pillaging all of these graves for body parts. And then over to the left here we have a symbol here that is going to have your legs, your arms, your body part and your head. And as you can see here, we already start with a few body parts. So we can grab and drag these body parts over here for our summon. Now we can put a sword and a shield here, as well as a couple legs. And depending on the type of body parts, we have essentially a mana cost for each of them listed. This is 5 here, 1, 1, 3, and so on. Also, this is our mana here. This is our mana pool that we're going to be using to summon. Down here is 15 mana total to summon, so we can go revive. And then here we can pick where we want to actually release them to start defending or collecting resources from. So we're going to be starting with the tower here. So we can release them right there. They come out here. If we zoom in slightly. Now the reason I have these other two portals here is because I have played this a little bit. And we've unlocked a couple more portals. So we're going to be sending out 2 of these straight off the bat. We're going to add in our body parts here. Now this one actually has a wand instead of a sword, and you can see when you hover over the body parts as well, they have a few different stats for them. So we have our DPS, our health and our speed for them. If we go over to the likes of the buckler here, we have the buckler shield and armor in addition to our health. So I'll just hover over a couple of these so you can kind of see. Now as we progress as well, we will be unlocking more things such as upgrades for our tower. So if we go over here, we have a tower upgrades menu as well. This here is part of our main quest line, I believe. We have unlocked a foundation, which is what you can see over in the corner here. Now the blue parts on the map as well, those are mana, so we can gather those as well. We're going to unpause the clock now and send them off. So as you can see, they're going to head around collecting resources for us. We also have in the top right hand corner a bunch of different spells which we unlock in the main menu. After each round, if we fail or die, we get to go back to our main hub inside the tower, and we can spend gold we collect. So up in the top left hand corner here, above inventory, you will see we have a couple different resources. One is ores. This middle one is our gold, and the right hand side is our mana gain. So as they progress out, they're going to uncover new things. The goal for them essentially is to gather the resources, but also they need to attack enemy lairs. This is where the enemies will be released from, and they are going to be trying to destroy your tower as well as your units you have released. So you can see a few here that are going to attack. I am actually going to pause it really quick. You will probably be pausing quite often, just so you have time to actually do your resurrections here. Right, so from here we also have a skeleton head with a helmet. We could potentially do that actually. That is 10 health, 1 armor, -2 speed, and 16 view. So I believe view is kind of the line of sight. How far away can they see an enemy? We also have a zombie head here. 20 health, 1 armor. I think we will go with the zombie head. We're going to start building out a zombie since we've got some zombie parts here. Now the zombies are in general a little bit slower, but they tend to have more health. You can actually mix and match body parts as well, so we can use a skeleton leg still. We've got a skeleton arm with a saber, or a zombie arm with a armor and a sword. So we'll grab that one there. And I think we'll go with the armored and shield arm here. Now this one is a bit more expensive because we have some higher quality parts here. We can revive that and release that one as well. There is a limit to how many units you can have on the field as well, which I believe is 15. So be aware of that. You can, if you want, kill them off. So you can right click here. We can manage our units. We can have them stand still. We can control them ourselves. We can save them or we can kill them. I tend not to manage them too much myself, but it probably is a good idea to do a little bit of micromanaging with them. Now I'm going to create a couple here while we can, or at least get some ready. We might put a ranger out there as well. I'm going to just prep them a little bit. There, so as you can see down here it's 17 mana cost, but we only have 8. We're going to unpause and let it carry on. Now I have unlocked a few spells through my playtime, and one of them is this cat. So we're going to release the cat, and he's going to run around collecting resources for us. So as you can see, the map does get quite large. So he's going to be running around collecting body parts and gold. We do also get a couple buildings that will start producing us things as well. So the crypt here is going to bring us several body parts every morning, and the altar brings us some mana every morning. Here's a day and night cycle here, as you can see as well. Okay, so we're going to let that run. It is now the next morning. We're going to pause again real quick. Now, just because you've dragged items onto here doesn't mean you are stuck with that. You can actually change them about a little bit. And what I might do here is we might swap out some of these parts now that we've got some better ones. So we could go, I think we'll add some more zombie parts here. We do have a better shield here as well. Okay, I think that'll do. We'll summon this one here. And release. Now, what you can also do is, if you have an excess of certain body parts, or ones that you aren't going to be using, you can actually right click on them and sell them for the cost that they are. So this one here, for example, is 3 mana to summon or use. We can right click that and actually discard it, and we gain that mana back. Alright, so I'm going to set up maybe zombie with a cloak. Standard zombie head here. Does have an alright view of a 19. And I think the armor and saber is probably the next best thing. And we'll grab this light shield as well. Now you can see here we've got a standard skeleton leg, health is 20, speed 28, and then we've got over here a skeleton leg with a boot. So that gains us a little bit of armor, but there is a slight cost of speed here. Not a lot, but it is a little bit different. Okay, we are a little bit low, we're short by 2. So I think what we will do here is, let's see what body parts we probably don't need. I'll sacrifice one of these bodies here, and maybe we also sacrifice probably just the standard legs. Just gives us a little bit more mana there. And we can revive you and release them. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we've found a blueprint because we've defeated an enemy's lair. These are our tower upgrades basically. So they're a little bit random as to what you get. Iron Smithy, so we've got increases the armor of your dead, armor +2. So we go okay. We will pause again just so we can have a look at this. So if we go into this tab here, which are our tower upgrades, we'll see it listed. Now this is how we use our ore that we're collecting. All the tower upgrades will require a certain amount of ore, and as you upgrade the level, it will increase the requirements of the resources needed. So we'll create, and now it's going to cost us 40 ore for the next upgrade. You'll also notice over here that we originally started with a 10,000 health on our black tower, and that has now actually increased to 10,500. So each of these upgrades also upgrades the health or max health of our tower. So we can go back. We do have a couple recipes here I should mention too. These are recipes we've unlocked earlier on from other runs we've done. Just by combining different parts, we've unlocked specific recipes. So you can discover more, but we do have a few recipes that if we have all the parts, we can just straight create them from this recipe menu. Let's unpause that and see how we go. Alright, so we're going to go to the mine, and this will get us a little bit of ore every day. We do want to just keep an eye out where all the enemies are coming from. See, we've got a base being destroyed down here, which is good. It does take a little bit of time. Alright, and we got our next blueprint from that. So this is Orc Slaughterhouse. This is going to increase the growth of the Orc body parts, +2 to Orc growth per level. Okay. So let us just have a quick look at that as well. Alright, we do not have the ores required to do that, and we've only just started getting our first orc parts anyway. So as you can see here, we have an orc arm with armor and a throwing axe. Now I think we're going to start setting up another fighter in a second here. So if we go use a body part, it does pay to pause and then just set up a couple units, get them ready for when you want to release them, just in case you start getting swarmed by the enemy. Okay, we can put a saber arm there, a couple legs, and we may actually sell off a part. Let's switch this out here. Sell one of those body parts, one of these, maybe one of those as well. Okay, our cat is ready to send out as well, so be aware of this. You should send your cat out constantly if you can. Now you can see an icon over here. This indicates we have enemies coming in. And any of our soldiers or units will actually interact with them. They tend to kite them away from places, or kite them away from our base, for instance. Okay, we'll revive this one as well. Now we have a zombie body with armor. I'll use a standard zombie head as well. The zombie arm with armor and sword actually has relatively good DPS here, 17.4. We have 2 zombie legs. And we can use the zombie arm with armor and shield as well. Now, even though this may or may not be a specific recipe, we can actually save these here, which I don't tend to do. It's just easier to use whatever body parts you get in. So we have that set up and ready. We'll carry on. If I feel like the enemies are getting a little bit close, we can actually just use our lightning spell. We did actually get that from an earlier run. Now our units will just carry on randomly. As you can see, they didn't even bother picking this mana up. But they're going to focus down enemies first, or enemy layers. So you can see he's attacking there as well. Now we've gotten one more blueprint. This one, Fertilizer Hall, increases the regeneration of your dead. +2 to regeneration per level. So we can grab that. That's probably a worthwhile upgrade if we can afford it. We're a little bit off, so we'll wait a bit. We did get another helmet here. We've got an Orc Head helmet. Okay, and we're getting even more body parts come in. So I think we revive this one. We'll release you. Then I'm going to work on potentially sending our cat out. I will pause there as well. We can also go through the different body parts here, which is usually easier to manage. Makes it a little bit easier to see what you're doing or what you want to pick out. We will go with 2 sword arms here. I typically will just pick whatever body parts seem to be the higher tier or best ones for the time being. Things like the orcs though, they do have pretty poor vision from what I can tell. But they are typically tankier, so I will add that there as well. It's going to cost us 44. We'll wait off on that. Now what I may do is I may actually get this one set up so we can have them stationed at our tower. Okay, they're slowly getting this enemy layer down. If we wanted to check on someone, so I see this one is getting attacked, we can click on them and it'll take us over to where they are. And it looks like they're going to focus down this layer as well. Alright, let's pause a second. We can revive this one now. And I will release you. Now, I know I said I was going to leave them standing still protecting, but I might actually just let them wander off. The reason being is we have actually unlocked from previous runs a teleport spell, so if we're in a very poor state, we can teleport some of these units back to base here. Alright, and we got our next blueprint. Iron Age Armory, so this is going to increase the damage of your dead, +2 damage per level here. And we also got another one as well, increased growth of zombie parts, +2 to zombie growth level. Now we are using a lot of zombie parts at the moment, so that could be worthwhile. I do think the regeneration is probably better though. In fact, we can actually afford to get both of these, so why not? That's fine, that'll work. Now, if we have a look here, what else do we have? We now have an orc skeleton with a helmet. And we got our first orc body as well, or our orc skeleton body. So there are standard skeleton versions, and then flesh or zombie versions of each type of monster from what I can tell, or at least these beginning ones. Okay, now we have a jellyfish tentacle, which I actually believe is a fairly good arm to attach to someone. It gives a lot of AoE damage. And it has very good range. So this particular unit I might actually leave at base here. So we're going to make them kind of tanky if we can. At least relatively tanky. I do want better vision though, so we'll put the mage head on you. I believe that's better. 20 vision. Alright, that's not too bad. I'm going to actually sell the orc head because I don't believe these are all that good. And we need the mana as well, so I'm going to sell a few more body parts here. A lot of the lower tier stuff like the skeletons, we're probably not going to be using them too much now. Also the throwing axes I don't believe are all that good either. So I'll sell that and that should almost get us to where we need to be. Okay, we're going to revive this one here. And you can see all of a sudden that their big tentacle arm has shown up here. Now I'm going to make them stand still. And we'll carry on. Just so they can kind of protect our base a little bit. Alright, looks like they're going to be going for the mine. Do have some more stuff up to the northeast here as well. Okay. But down to the southwest we have quite a few enemies coming in, which is a bit of a worry. Once they get a little bit closer maybe, or actually, we might just lightning bolt them here. There we go. We saved our unit. And we'll send our cat out to collect our resources we need. Let's try our acid fog. I don't believe I've ever actually used this before. Ah, okay, so the acid fog is for defending our base. Good to know. I'm not sure how long that lasts. Now, you may be wondering why there is a timer up here counting down. The timer basically counts down until another enemy base gets spawned, or an enemy lair is going to be spawned. Once that comes down, I believe it spawns relatively close to us. Alright, we're going to pause for a second and we're going to see if we can get another unit out. We have about 65 mana in the reserve here. Now, let's see. I do think melee is a stronger basis for us. This has 19.5 DPS. So let's take... yeah, let's take those. Got a little bit of shield. We have an orc skeleton body with armor. And we need some legs as well. So we have a couple boots here too. And that's 62. That's not too bad. So we have a bit of a tankier build here. And he's going to go out there and finish anyone off he needs to. One complaint I do kind of have with how our units lure the enemies is often I find that when they're close to base, they will start backing off and will walk past our base, but when the enemy walks through our tower, they still hit the tower and do a little bit of damage, even though they are primarily focused on our units. So just be aware of that. there may be other ways. If we took control of them directly, we could probably avoid that. Okay, I do see we have a few enemies down here that are going to be spawning. Here they are. Right, let's unpause that. Hopefully our spells will finish cooling down. But we're going to have quite a few of these guys coming in now. It may even pay for us to have a cheap unit built. So let's see what we have. See if we can build a relatively cheap unit. I think standard zombie heads probably aren't too bad. Or the zombie mage head. Weapons, we would like a little bit more damage here and maybe a shield. Let's go like so. And I have quite a lot of zombie legs, so I might sell some of these off. Just so I can use some of the better tier versions. This is a 37 cost. Oh, and there we go. We've found a secret recipe, a dead cleric. So that is one fun thing about mashing different body parts together, is you do often uncover these. I believe having specific units may be giving us bonuses to these. Which is probably why you want to try and focus on specific unit builds. There we go, we'll release you. Okay, we are going to be taking some damage here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay, lightning capacitor. So this is going to transform the sky energy and speeds up the dead. +2 to speed per level. It's not bad. In fact, we will have another look at our tower upgrades because we have a few more ores here. That's only the cost of 10, sorry. We'll grab that. Also, I think we might go and increase our damage output. Damage output seems important. Alright, perfect. We'll unpause now. Okay. Right, while the enemy does have quite a lot of numbers on their side, we tend to do alright. I'll try and save my spells for an emergency. There is a particular enemy that I'm concerned about when they show up on the battlefield. So we will just wait maybe and see if they're due to be spawning soon. We might be safe enough though. Okay, let's sell some of these excess body parts we don't need. Right, so as far as this goes, heads, we can probably sell some excess zombie heads here. Again, I'd like to prioritize their sight or their view over health as far as their head slot goes. But we will still try and put some tanky parts in there. We're not getting the greatest weapons, unfortunately. I could use another mage, though. So there's a zombie arm with magic wand. Zombie arm with shield. Oh, we have a harpy leg with steel claws. So this actually has quite a lot of health to it. It also has an ability, Steel Claws, 5.6 DPS. It's relatively fast as well. So you can in fact mix and match, which we might as well try it. Doesn't really matter too much, but be aware these legs here are very expensive to summon. I'm going to release one of them, and you get a little portrait there of them. So some short stubby legs trying to support a rather large body. Okay, I think we also want to actually just set up another unit as well. We can go like this. Guess we can go standard orc here. That one there is orc arm armored with throwing axe. This is just an orc skeleton. Let's put 2 of these on maybe. Not a huge fan of these throwing axes though. The reason being is the direction which they actually activate. Which you will see they tend to go in like a plus and a cross sign as they get fired off. So you can see them go there. They alternate between the 2 directions. Okay, we have some more units coming out from here. Let's hit them. It should give us a little bit of reprieve. I think we're just going to wait a minute. Okay, we've got our acid fog up. We're going to send our cat out. So if we do get attacked, we have our acid fog again ready to defend. We have actually also gained a fair few more ore. So again, we could go damage up or armor. We don't have a level on our orc slaughterhouse, so maybe we increase that one. I do think maybe if we can get our damage up again, it's going to cost us 50, so we'll hold off a little bit. Damage increase seems like a good idea overall. Okay, we'll unpause and we'll check down here and see how everyone's doing. Right, they seem to be doing enough damage to hold everyone off. Perfect. And our next enemies are coming in from the north here. We don't have many units up that way. So I'm going to pause again, I think, and we'll go have a quick look at what we've got. We could set up, this gives us a magic barrier. I think 2 sword arms here. We'll maybe use standard orc legs. Gives us a little bit of speed and HP. Now the head, I think we'll use a zombie with a helmet. Alright, we can release you. We do still have quite a bit of mana here. Maybe set up another tank. Okay, orc skeleton with a mace. We'll go use 2 of those. And some boots. Yeah, we're going to spawn out a few enemies here, I think. Let's sell a bunch of these more useless body parts. We have quite a lot of these as well. Actually, we might use those, in fact. Zombie with armor, that should be okay. And a standard zombie head. We'll release you. And what else do we want to do? I am tempted to hold off ever so slightly because I'm hoping we can get some better body parts coming soon. Let's see. Yeah, I'd like some better weapon arms as well. Let's unpause for a second. I'd like to actually test out, if we can, this acid fog. There we go. So we're going to get hit with that. Seems to do decent damage to the enemy as they try to come in. Hopefully it lasts. Ooh, not quite long enough. That's okay. Okay, we have our first standard orc head as well that's come in. Let's go a better view than if they've got a helmet. It's probably not too bad, it's still relatively tanky. And we do have an orc body with armor, which is nice. Let's try... Again, I do think the orc arm with armor and mace is not bad. Ooh, zombie arm with armor and sword is 23 DPS though. This was 22. Right, I'm going to give them both those. And then we'll just go standard skeleton orc legs. I'm going to sell some more body parts here. We can revive one of you. Okay, let's unpause. That's probably enough for now. As you can see at the bottom, we do have quite a lot of units on the field. I want to save some spots for later on. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can get a better view of what's going on. Okay, he is getting hit pretty hard and he's just died, unfortunately. I just hit them with a quick lightning bolt. Let's find out what's going to happen up north. These enemies are kind of far away, so it's not too much of a worry just yet. And it looks like we've also uncovered another portal over here. So the cool thing with these portals, if we click on this, to activate them, we have to draw the runic spell or symbol. And I never was too good with drawing in between the lines. Here we go. And now that one's activated as well. And we can actually start sending units out to these if we want. I tend not to, just because our base is typically under attack quite often. And I like to send units out from here in order to try and defend it. We which is what we're going to have to do now as well. Again, we'll go for something relatively tanky. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. We do have a zombie arm with a book of lightning. That could be good. And maybe some good orc legs to support that body. We'll revive you and release you. And actually, you know what I might do is over at this particular spawn we have, this portal, I might send some slightly weaker or cheaper units out. So let's just make a really cheap unit to send out from here. We can go like so. I think we want to maybe go... I want them to be relatively fast, so we probably don't want anything too bulky. This isn't too bad. We could go with this. And that there. Let's revive and release you from this portal. I may even just double check on some of these other portals around here, see how we're doing. We've got a few units that way, but we do have some enemy bases down here. We might want to send a little bit of support out this way. So perhaps summoning from here isn't a bad idea either. Let's put some more bowmen out, because we haven't really done that, or have too many of them. Let's use a... Oh, we'll use a standard zombie body. Again, I want to use relatively cheap parts. And release. And where were we with this portal here up to the north? Okay. The other reason why I'm sending out weaker enemies, especially to these portals, is I'm using them to explore the map essentially. Also, if they die, that's perfectly fine as well, because we will be wanting to replace them with stronger units later on anyway. And again, let's chuck out maybe another crossbowman. But we also want a decent range of sight. You can be released there. And now if we head back to the tower, we should be okay for the meantime. I don't see any particular enemies close by. So let's unpause this and see how we go. So yeah, as you can see, when they get dragged through, they are actually damaging our tower a little bit here. I'm going to pause real quick because I saw that we have quite a lot of ore here. So we should really upgrade some more stuff. Increased damage was definitely one we wanted. Probably armor maybe as well. And we can do one more, which I guess we'll do the crypts, which is going to be for our zombie growth. So that's for our zombie body parts. Alright, let's unpause the game. Should be able to send our cat out in a minute. Here we go. You can zoom on out. Okay, nice. We've got some more body parts coming in here. Ah, and we've got our first vampire part. Vampires and harpies are relatively good. As you can see here, they've got quite a bit of health and really good DPS as well. So it's got regen, this has speed. The harpies are relatively quick. I think we can probably maybe even mix and match these ones here. That might be quite nice. We do have a harpy body as well, which is pretty good. That's going to give us 200 health in one regen. And then we've got a vampire leg, which has quite a bit of speed. Again, regen and health are pretty good. And then the harpy leg. So vampires are nice because they have that extra regen. As far as the head goes, we don't have anything particularly good. So I guess we'll use our standard zombie head here. We do have one more slot free now since someone's died. So we can revive you. And I'll release you from base here. So some parts you will see now that we have all these little bats that have spawned around our character. That was because they have a special ability with their body part, the vampiric body part, and that spawns out these bats. So they're going to head on off that way. You'll also notice how high our health for the tower is now. I think we're doing relatively well. We do have to be aware that in a couple minutes now we're going to get enemy lair spawn in. So we'll try and keep an eye on that. Okay. Alright, we're going to have a lot of enemies coming in a minute. I hope our spells recharge in a second. Okay, Fertilize Hall, regen +1. I thought we actually already had that. Okay, so apparently you can get multiple of the same blueprint. That's interesting. I was unaware of that actually. That's kind of good because that means the level up was a lot cheaper. Increases regeneration of your dead, +1. This one here is +2 per level though. So I guess there is a slight difference. One's an upgraded version of the other. What else do we have here? We can probably buy some more parts. Or upgrades I should say. Armor upgrade maybe. And why the hell not? Let's upgrade everything we can for the meantime. We have earned a decent amount of gold from this run so far, which is nice. Right, we'll unpause again. We do have a lot of enemies coming in. Our cat can go out. I think we hit them with a lightning bolt. Right, Orc Mounds increases the growth of the Orc skeleton body parts. +4 to Orc skeleton growth. So yeah, there's one thing you have to be aware of with these upgrades is just because it says Orc body parts doesn't mean it's specific to the skeleton parts or vice versa. They all do have their individual upgrades. Okay, we've lost a lot of units now, so I think it's a good time to pause and try and summon a fair few of them. Right, now, what I do like to see is we've got these harpy heads available. Viewers 25, armor 170, yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, let's use these ones here. We do have a few more harpy body parts, which is nice as well. Ooh, harpy wing with steel feathers. 31 DPS, that's nice. Hopefully we've got a decent amount of harpy legs. Yep. We will revive you. Now these are relatively expensive to be summoning higher tier monsters like this. Let's use some of these zombie parts. Actually, we'll use... We have a relatively good shield arm here. Okay, and I am going to be using the harpy bodies though, which are pretty good. That one's a 105 to create that one. Let's use a standard head then. It's 32. 2 harpy wings. 2 harpy legs. This is going to be our standard harpy here for the cost of 112. We can sell off a bunch of these other parts though to kind of make up for it. We actually have an excess of orc skeleton legs, which is nice. They sell for a decent amount. Do that. We do have quite a lot of horrible body parts down here that are useless to us. Relatively low DPS. That shouldn't be too bad. I think we can sell off a couple of these extras. Body parts here. Alright, we got a standard harpy which gets a +6 speed and +7 damage. So that's pretty good as well. Actually, because we got that, do we have... Where's our recipe? Okay, we are missing another body, otherwise we could kind of recreate that again. So let's get you set up in case we do come across another harpy body. That would be very nice. And we've lost another unit by the looks of it. I'll be happy enough if we can survive till the next enemy lair gets spawned in though. Alright, we have a lot of units coming in now though. Just pause for a second. This is a bit silly, but I'm going to do it just because. I do have to say I love the visual as they spawn of what kind of strange amalgamation of body parts creates these things, so it's quite cool to see. Alright, again we've got, I guess we go harpy parts again. They're just very good parts to be using. I don't think I've uncovered any monster parts beyond harpy or vampires yet. Though I'm sure there are newer ones as well. Maybe once we get a bit further out into it. As far as the arms go, let's see, what else could we do? Let's throw that one out there. And we'll put our fog on as well. Though we maybe wanted to hold off a little bit longer on that. Got a few battles going on out over here though. There we go, send our cat out, collect that mana. You should be able to handle these enemies, I think. We are taking a little bit of damage, which isn't great. Oh no, we've lost that unit. Okay. Not good, not good. Let's then set another one up here. This might have to be a bit of a tanky one. We can use that for a bit more regen. We release you, and I will actually get you to stand still there. It's not as good as having the tentacle, to be honest, because the tentacle reaches quite far. But it does do a decent amount of damage. Let's see, we are going to be constantly having to build new creatures though. It's never ending with this. And maybe a shield. Okay, let's sell some parts as well. We do have a lot of body parts for the arms. Let's get rid of some of these here. Should have given us a decent amount to summon. Set up a couple more if we can. I don't tend to use these orc heads, so we can get rid of most of these. Probably still want to keep at least a few though. We don't want to sell all of the body parts just in case we end up with a bit of a dry spell and can't seem to get anything. We will still need to summon them. Okay. Might go like this. There's only 67 to summon that one. Here we go. Alright, it's a new day. We must have gotten some more body parts come in. Did get a harpy wing come in. Alright. Taking a lot of damage here. We did end up getting an enemy lair spawn, which actually is what summoned this dragon here. They are very tanky as well. And their spawn was this one here, so you can see. So we'll have to destroy that as soon as possible. Unpause. I'm going to see if we can't. Not quite where I wanted to hit. We also have new enemies coming in as well. We've got knights here. There is actually a king as well, which has a specific formation ability that spawns these guys out. So he can be quite tough if we end up coming across him. So I'm hoping we can last a little bit longer. We're going to have to summon some more units though in a second. Here we go. Send our cat out real quick. Alright. Okay, we actually got one of these king heads with the crown. So I'll show you this because their ability, the battle formation, is actually really good. It has a 53 DPS. So if we use that with an orc body armored, actually let's Orc skeleton body with armor is 90. We're going to use a standard orc body, it's got more health. Also the harpy wing, we're going to try and create the tankiest one we can. Just for a bit more survivability if possible. Okay, it wasn't the greatest body parts left over, but this should help. So if we release him, see he starts spawning off a formation of knights. It's a really good ability. It is annoying that they get distracted though, so we're gonna have to spawn another one. Let's go with something standard like this. Some tanky fast legs. And I actually want to spawn one more if we can. Again, we're going to be using relatively cheap parts here. Just to get something out to defend. There we go. We can sort of get the enemy to back up off the tower. Right, one thing I do neglect often is our upgrades, so we should probably be doing this as well. Especially because it does boost the health of our tower. And we could spend 100 for an increase in armor as well. Zombie growth, orc growth, regen's probably a good one. We'll use orc skeleton growth as well. So we seem to get a lot of those body parts. Okay, let's see if we can't make a really armored skeleton zombie. Here we go, this should be good. It's going to be the cost of 65. We're going to have to sell some of these parts off here. That one can be sold. Sell one of these and that. Gives us a decent amount. Alright, we've got another secret. Skeleton Orc Chief. So that's plus 35 health, plus 3 regen and 3 armor. That's really good. There we go. It's not too bad at all. Okay, let's see. Zombie with a helmet here. Again, we're going to sell off a bunch of this as we see fit. Let's keep that. We'll use one of these parts. And let's go like this, maybe. It's cost of 52, which isn't too terrible. Okay. Let's again set up another one. We do have a decent orc arm with shield and armor. Might also use some of these though. And what else we need? We need some body parts, so there we go. We'll revive you. Okay, as long as they can lead everything away from the tower, we shouldn't be too bad. Here we go, this is perfect. This is exactly what we needed, was to get that fog going. We have a lot of enemies spawning in though. It would be nice if we could upgrade that acid fog actually, which we might be able to with the money we're collecting from this run. We'll find out soon enough though. Let's sell some more of these. Okay. Legs, what do we have as far as legs go? Good game, this is probably standard. Maybe use a couple of these ones. That and that. Make another kind of tank. Alright, there we go. Alright, thankfully we still haven't dropped to half health on our tower, which is good. That can all change relatively quickly though. Alright, we're getting damaged again, so we may be pretty close to losing here. Let's see. Let's try and get, not those ones, these ones here out. I think these aren't too bad. We'll revive you. I'm going to try and sell some parts off to get another unit out. This one. And a couple of legs here. Now what was our body we're going to use? This one. It's 56 mana. That's not too bad. I would like to try and get a couple more summoned if possible. Game will go with these legs here. Actually, let's just go one boot, one standard, another couple of these. That's 60, 62. We can release you out there. Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy. We have far too many enemies coming in. I don't even know if we're going to be able to summon anything else. Let's sell both of those. That should give us a decent amount of points. Some of the parts we are running out of though. Release that. Get another 2 here. And there we go. So it's going to cost us 44. I think this is kind of what we have a few more excess of. We have a lot of these zombie arms with swords. We'll probably sell those off. That should be enough. There we go. Well, we took a pretty massive hit actually, and we might die here. We could try and teleport someone back to the base actually. Let's get... While you are doing some work over here, I would rather you just come straight back to the base. In fact, I can probably teleport you two back over there. Ah, not quite fast enough. I should have done that a little bit earlier, I think. Alright, so that's basically the end of one run. We do have a bit of money here we can spend. So I have upgraded some of the stuff in the past. Some of it we had to unlock, such as the teleporter. But if we can, we do have... Where was it? This one here is... Upgrades, produces 4 random lizard body parts every morning. We haven't come across any lizards. So that could be a good one to grab. Also have a Tesla machine here, which would upgrade our lightning spell. So the AoE would be a larger area. It does increase the damage significantly actually. Also the cooldown time. That might be worth doing as well, honestly. Acid Fog, we can increase the duration by 5 seconds and the cooldown drops by 40 seconds, as well as the damage going up from 20 to 100. So as you can see, like a lot of these upgrades do get pretty good, and they'll just overall increase the length of the runs you can do, so you can gain more gold to upgrade these. I think I want to maybe go with the Tesla machine here. That does seem pretty good. We have 854 points left, or gold left I should say. We can't do a lot with that. We could probably get the smithy here though. So this is going to allow repair a selected dead. So we'll restore 100 HP. It's got an AoE of 2 and a cooldown of 120. So we can now actually repair some of our damaged or injured units. But yeah, that is basically Necrosmith. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do like this kind of thing, feel free to subscribe, drop a like and a comment below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers, see ya.